Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Josh, and this is your stimulus check update for the next stimulus package for Tuesday, March 9th. I hope everyone's off to a good and safe start to their Tuesday so far. In this video, I'll be discussing updates in regards to the current relief package and the third stimulus check. I'll also be discussing the $1,400 direct payments, when we can expect this reconciliation bill to finally be signed into law. And then I'll be wrapping up this video by answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. But first, if you wouldn't mind real quickly liking this video, give me a big thumbs up. It really just helps with the YouTube algorithm in terms of pushing this video out to other viewers like you, and hopefully helping other people like you as well. Okay, so with the federal unemployment benefit set to expire this coming Sunday, we have just a few more days to get this reconciliation bill signed into law. This is going to be absolutely crucial, with millions of Americans hoping to not see another lapse in their benefits. Now, in today's video, we have both some good news and bad news in regards to the reconciliation bill. The bad news, starting off, just to get out of the way, really isn't all that bad. Basically, even though House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer wanted to hold the vote on the bill today, it's possible that we could end up seeing a minor delay and end up instead having the vote held on Wednesday. Apparently, even though there was nothing unexpected about the delay, a senior Democratic aide told reporters that since it's just a big, detailed bill, they're just taking a minute to process all of it. Either way, at latest, a vote on Wednesday is going to happen, and there's still a real possibility of it taking place today. Let's wait and see. In a statement, Nancy Pelosi said, "It has some changes that they have to precisely write. It could be that we get it tomorrow afternoon, and then it has to go to the House Rules Committee. And we'd take it up Wednesday morning at the latest." So even though it is just a tad bit disappointing that we may not see a vote on the bill in the House today, at latest, as Speaker Pelosi says, there should be a vote on Wednesday. This is where the good news comes into play, where it is expected that this bill will pass along party lines. Even though there were initially some concerns that progressive Democrats in the House wouldn't back the bill if they removed certain measures, such as the one that would increase the federal minimum wage to $15 per hour, it looks like that at this point, they're still going to approve the bill. After all, blocking $1,400 checks to Americans over one provision probably wouldn't look the best on their part. Also, most progressive Democrats aren't incredibly thrilled over the fact that the unemployment benefits are being reduced by $100 weekly from the $400 per week they had in their bill to the $300 per week in the Senate's bill. Still though, with the provision that forgives taxes on the first $10,200 in unemployment benefits received last year, that sort of makes up for it. So look for this bill to be passed in the House by Wednesday at the very latest. From there, we just need to wait on President Biden to sign the bill into law, which he says he'll do as quickly as it lands on his desk. We can expect for this to happen the exact same day it's passed through the House, so probably at some point on Wednesday afternoon. Once this bill is signed into law on Wednesday, or best case scenario later tonight, it's possible that we could see the first batch of direct payments begin to go out as soon as Friday this week. However, if not, at latest, I would expect for the first batch to begin going out at some point next week. Again, in order to be eligible for the full $1,400 payment, single filers must earn no more than $75,000 per year, head of households $112,500 per year, and joint filers $150,000 per year. If you earn more than that amount in one of those filing statuses, then there is a short phase-out period where you could be eligible for a reduced payment. The phase-out period is set at $80,000 for single filers, $120,000 for head of households, and $160,000 for joint filers. So, for example, if you're married, filing jointly, and you earn a combined income of $155,000 per year, then you'll receive a combined payment of $1,400. If you earn just $5,000 less combined in that scenario, you would have been eligible for the full $2,800 payment. So this time around, the payments will begin to phase out much quicker, which will unfortunately leave many people out of receiving anything at all. In a press conference, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said, "The Treasury Department is working on what this looks like and what the processing looks like. We expect a large number of Americans to receive relief by the end of the month, but in terms of the mechanics of it, Treasury just has to work through that. Given that the IRS has already sent out 2 different rounds of relief payments to hundreds of millions of Americans, I wouldn't expect for there to be too many hiccups. If anything, this third round should go out much quicker and much more smoothly than the previous 2. In addition to the direct payments set to go out this month, Americans can also be on the lookout for the increased child tax credit payments, which should begin going out starting in July. Even though they're hoping to be able to send these payments out on a monthly basis, they had to change the language in the bill at the last minute to say the payments would only be sent out periodically. So obviously this could be every month or every few months. We really don't know for sure, but in total, families with children under the age of 6 will be receiving $3,600 per year per child and $3,000 per year per child between the ages of 6 and 17. This will be a huge help to many families throughout the US. So while we wait for the House to finally pass this bill either later today or tomorrow, all we can continue to do is hang in there, stay strong, and hope for the best. Okay, so at this point in time, I'm going to move right along to answering some of the comments and questions that I received in my previous video. And if you do have any other comments or questions for me, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I do try to answer as many of the comments and questions as I possibly can, but for those comments and questions I'm not able to respond to, I do try to pick some of the more popular ones to answer in the next video in video form. Okay, so without further ado, let me go ahead and jump into the first comment of this video, which is from Anna. Anna says, when are we getting our money in the bank, and what do we have to do if we didn't get this $600? Okay, thank you so much for your question, and at this point, it's possible that the first batch of direct payments could begin going out as soon as Friday of this week. If not by then, they should begin to go out at some point next week. Just recently, President Biden said that most Americans should receive the $1,400 payments by the end of March. As far as receiving the most recent $600 check goes, if you never ended up receiving it, at this point, you'll need to claim it as a credit on the tax returns that you filed this year. Okay, moving along to the next comment video, which is from Ryan. Ryan says, any changes to dependents receiving the stimulus check? Also, any updates if they do receive it on who would receive the checks? Okay, thank you so much for your question. And yes, dependents, including those over the age of 17, will be eligible for the next round of direct payments. As far as who will receive the payment, it'll be the person who claims them. So, for example, if you're eligible for the next round and you have 2 dependents, then in total, you'll be receiving a combined payment of $4,200. Okay, moving along to the next comment video, which is from Scar. Scar says, Buenos dias, Josh. Will people who get direct deposit be the first wave to get the money? After that, would it be debit cards? And lastly, mailed checks? Alright, thank you so much for your question. And yes, I would expect for people that receive direct deposits to be the first ones receiving the $1,400 payments. After that, as you mentioned, the second batch of people receiving the money the quickest would be those receiving checks in the mail, as well as debit cards. Of course, just like the first 2 rounds, there may be some issues with some people receiving the direct deposits, so they may end up having to wait just a little bit longer for a check to arrive in the mail. Being that this is the third round, however, it is my hope that the IRS fixes whatever issues they had previously this time around. Let's wait and see. Okay, moving along to the next comment video, which is from Kurt. Kurt says, is the child tax credit for 2022? I already filed my taxes, just wondering how it works. Okay, thank you so much for your question, Kurt. And yes, the increased child tax credit is for 2022. This means that for the tax returns that you filed this year, you won't need to make any amendments. Put simply, the increased child tax credit payments you'll be receiving starting in July are just going to be an advanced tax credit for the returns that you would normally be filing for next year. So once next year's tax season comes around, you won't be adding the child tax credit on the returns since you would have already received this money throughout the year. Alright, so on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you did enjoy the content in this video and you'd like to see more videos like it, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. It is completely free to do so, and it's a great support to me. Also, if you'd like to receive 4 free stocks from Webull, with 2 of them valued all the way up to $1,600 each, or 1 free stock from Robinhood, just for signing up and linking your bank account, please feel free to claim those free stocks by clicking the link in the description box below. And finally, if you join Rakuten with my referral link in the description box below and spend at least $20, Rakuten will give you $20 cash back. This means that you can buy an item through Rakuten with one of their referral links, such as Nike, for $20, and Rakuten will give you $20 just for making that purchase. This is just an incredible deal that I would love for everyone to take advantage of. Okay, so until next time, I'll see you guys, and I hope you have a great day today.